Four IITians turned an experiment into a $532 million business in just 5 years. Vamsi Krishna, Pulkit Jain, Saurabh Saxena, Anand Prakash. These IIT alumni quit their high-paying job without a backup plan. Isn't it a terrifying risk to take? Vedantu, fifth Edtech unicorn in India. The story of Vedantu started in Punjab when four IITians quit their job without any planning. The only thing that kept them together was their common interest in teaching. The story of Vedantu can be uncovered by answering three major questions. How did IITians launch Vedantu? What mistake did Vedantu make while entering the market, and how did they deal with it? How did the COVID-19 lockdown become the road to success for Vedantu? Let's find out the story of four friends who belonged to middle-class families and took a big risk by starting Vedantu. In this video, we'll answer questions and leave you inspired. We believe that education cannot be molded on the concept of one size fits all. It needs to be personalized, and this is our core differentiator, says Vamsi. In Punjab, the four IITians quit their high-paying jobs and started a coaching group. They taught offline classes with a vision for quality learning. People mocked them for their decision to quit their job to work as a tuition teacher. Lakshay was the first institute where the four young men took offline classes for students of Punjab. They gathered a good number of students at their institute. However, their goal was to bring a change in the education industry. They wanted to transform traditional education practices, and that was not possible through offline coaching. They wanted to bring about change on a bigger scale. Therefore, Pulkit went to Bangalore to do high-core technical experiments so that they could start something that would reach a huge audience. However, building a scale of this nature would have been a huge challenge if we restrict ourselves to offline coaching. We knew that online was the only way to reach students pan-India, says Vamsi Krishna. How did four IITians launch Vedantu? When Pulkit started experimenting with technology and did market research about online education, he realized that there is a huge gap between effective education and children. Our traditional education focuses on in-class learning by the book, and memorization over comprehension. A practical approach to learning and active participation was largely lacking in the Indian education system. Therefore, the four IITians thought of a solution, Vedantu. They launched Vedantu, an online platform that aimed to transform methods of teaching through innovative online classes. However, they knew that sailing on two boats would not be possible. They had to focus on one and build it to success. Therefore, they sold Lakshay to a public listed company and started focusing on Vedantu. Vedantu arises from two separate words, Veda, which means knowledge, and Tantu, which means network. It is an online tutoring platform that offers live education to students via digital devices. It was a tough time. There was a fight between traditional offline classes and modern online classes. Traditional offline classes happen in the classroom, whereas online classes are done in virtual classrooms. People more often believe in offline classes, as students can directly interact with teachers. Indian parents did not have any confidence in virtual learning and failed to appreciate Vedantu. People in our country were not familiar with combining technology and education, but eventually, through constant struggle and continuous self-belief, the four IITians pledged to make a difference in online education. They won over several hearts. The four entrepreneurs knew that they could bring about change in the education sector, and that's why, despite all disadvantages and fallbacks, they always stood for what they believed in and focused on the advantages. This is the best lesson that the 4 IITians have given to all startups. Step out of your comfort zone and do something big. The founders of Vedantu knew their fight would be tough. However, to bring change in the educational sector, they needed to expand their business. Because having no geographical barriers was undoubtedly not possible with offline classes at Lakshay. What mistakes did Vedantu make and how did they deal with it? The biggest mistake Vedantu made is that they assumed that the market had arrived before it had actually arrived. They failed to fully study their target market, which led to losses and big failure. People across India were not ready to accept online education. Therefore, the startup was not doing well. The founders felt the pinch of not having enough capital and they had to let go of 15% of their employees. They somehow managed to stay afloat on the river of uncertainty. They faced another shock when an investment fell out of their hand at the very last moment. This was the hardest entrepreneurial phase of the 4 IITians. With continuous failure, the 4 IITians realized that there is something wrong with how they were conducting their business. Therefore, they decided to redesign their business model. They realized that their one-to-one model seemed to be costly, which resulted in a low rate of customer acquisition. Therefore, they launched a one-to-many model in 2017, and that was a game changer for their business. The time period from 2015 to 2017 was quite tough for Vedantu. However, after 2017, the company started seeing exponential growth as a result of focusing on their core business strategies. They cut down their costs and priced their subscription ranging from $2 to $60 for live and interactive sessions. They also began providing classes for several competitive exams and conducted live doubt-solving sessions for all students. Vedantu focused on live interactive classes to make their coaching more engaging and informative for their users. One of the most significant lessons that you can learn from Vedantu is that capital is not everything. A good business model is a priority to gain success and long-term recognition. How did the COVID-19 lockdown become the road to success for Vedantu? The COVID-19 lockdown proved to be quite fruitful for Edtech startups. As the education industry across India was closed due to deadly coronavirus, it became a necessity to depend on technology. Vedantu plummeted to a massive growth during the lockdown period. The number of subscribers expanded exponentially with a growth of 220% in users recorded. In 2019, Vedantu launched the Wave platform, which stands for Whiteboard Audio Video Environment, which turned out to be a great success. The platform adopts artificial intelligence and machine learning for personalized teaching and learning for both students and teachers. Vedantu's aim for launching Wave was to provide an exceptional online learning platform. Through Wave, students can pick teachers they are comfortable with, who then can teach the children via live interactive classes in real time. In 2021, Vedantu acquired InstaSolve, a doubt-solving application for 12th standard as well as competitive exams. The application guarantees to provide answers to students' tough questions within 30 minutes. It was their first acquisition. With growing popularity and success, Vedantu also took the initiative to help around 12,000 children who have been affected by COVID-19. They have set up a $1.8 million fund with the aim of offering education to these children. Like this, Vedantu has shown massive growth and provided a glorious future to millions and billions of children. It has been a roller coaster ride for the 4 IITians, a journey full of ups and downs, challenges and outcomes. Virtual is becoming the new normal in learning, says Vamsi. The 4 IITians believed that if you have sense of determination and faith in yourself, you can achieve anything in life. Vedantu turned out to be the fifth Edtech unicorn in India by raising $100 million. Undoubtedly, the four young men transformed the future of education in India. The story of one's life influenced the life of multiple. We thank you for staying with us throughout the journey of Vedanta. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the bell icon to get the latest updates on our upcoming videos.